hello, hi, hello, what's up, hello, hi. Okay, basically, real quick, I'm going to share this on my Facebook. Hey everybody, what's up? Basically, I'm going to first, real quick, on on a page on Facebook, if I'm able to. Ay, Chihuahua. Yeah, this might actually prove a little difficult. Okay, let's prepare for this. Bada boom, bada beam, and I'm going to scream a little humor for you. So while I'm taking care of this, okay, as fast as I can before this phone dies. Okay. Here. Connect it fast. All right. To all of you out there, real quick. To the black pond. Okay. To the black pond. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. To all of you out there, this is the MBC in the making. The title for my creation right now is dubbed Firecracker. Okay? For reasons only because of her right over there. Yeah, right there. My Firecracker is basically a motorized bicycle. Okay? MBC for short. Okay? I figured, hey, screw warp bike. Nobody's gonna remember that. So, MBC, okay? Now, what it is that I'm going to show my bike in its glory. It's almost complete. There are parts in that I need to finally fix, but at the same time, all's going good. All's going well. All is going glorious and wonderfully having God. All right, so let me turn the camera around. Ba-boom! And there you go, That's my MBC, my motorized bicycle, aka Firecracker. Okay, reason she calls it Firecracker is because whenever this bike is sounded, because of the fact that it doesn't have its muffler yet, which is where one of the first things I'm gonna explain, it sounds like a firecracker going off. Okay, so I've decided, because of in honor of my girlfriend's creativity, I'm going to give it its official name, Firecracker. Now, the first thing I said I was going to show you, because of the name, is because right now I have no muffler, as you can see right here. Alright? As soon as I manage to get this little tiny piece welded and taken off, that thing's coming off. That's going back on. And then this right here is bye-bye. Gonzo. See you later, alligators. Hey. You having some fun? Okay. Yeah, my cats, basically. Anyways, I'm trying to be very careful not to show the background, which is why most you're gonna be able to see from this angle is gonna be my bike alone. Okay? So now look. Basically, that's the first problem I was having before. My bike's muffler, pretty much half of it's seared off while I was riding, so then I ended up having to take the whole thing off. But as I was unscrewing some things, this piece snapped off, as you can see right here. So once that's taken care of, not only is the muffler going back on, but I'm going to remove this, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this on the muffler, where it's going to strap on and hold via the muffler, much more solid to this part of the engine of the bike frame. That way there is no need for this extra. Okay? That's number one. Number two, okay? For those of you who probably don't know, I'm going to actually go around the bike and I'm going to show you right now. Okay? Right here. You see where the back mount is? Okay, you can't see it because it's fastened right now. But right through the middle of where the mount is, on the frame, it is literally straight off, straight through. In other words, it's as if somebody just took a metal cutter, or whatever they call it, an angle grinder, maybe, and then seared it through the middle. So what I gotta do, and because this is made out of steel, I gotta remove this panel, weld it here in the middle, then weld this panel to this to prevent it from breaking once again. Hopefully that's more of a success than I hope, than I'm afraid that it might not be. Okay? These pouches right here will contain tools, and on the other side parts. This little switch right here that you probably noticed while I was moving the camera. Let me remove this flap. This little switch, as you can see, is tied to a boost bottle, which obviously is connected to a boost manifold. I ordered one. I didn't make one. I didn't want to be too careful. I wanted to try to be more careful. So what I did was I ordered a boost manifold. I attached it to this boost bottle, which is actually attached to the bottom of said back seat, which I will get to later. And just to be a little more creative and cautious, installed, yes, what you see there, a kill switch. It's like, oh my God, he installed a kill switch. Oh, that's very, very clever. That's very, yes, people, that is very clever, actually. That is very clever, right? So basically, if I wanted a little less performance and more effort for I just pretty much switch off, switch on, switch off, switch on. There you go. That's another thing, okay? Less back pressure if it was switched on, but more back pressure if it was switched off. On. No, off. You get my point. Alright? For this back seat, by the way, which is not complete. I need another of these on the other side to basically keep it from shifting side to side, right? Basically, this back seat is consisted of, yes, the seat itself. I just installed this. And basically I rigged together a little something right here, so and I didn't know what I was gonna use it for until now. And there, as you can see, my girlfriend could sit pretty. And bada boom. Now I would have probably used like the twister version, but this is actually a lot more convenient because if I ever needed to like do like a little work right here, all I have to do is lift up. And I installed this little pole right here, so that way, bada boom, you can just kick it down. Simple. Lift it up, work on it. When you're riding, kick down, bada boom. Not impressed yet? Not impressed yet? Please, I ain't even started. I ain't even got started. All right, let's continue. Okay. Now, as I said, and oh, by the way, I rigged this together out of training wheel setup, but I attached it like so that way when I put what you call it, what's the word, tag, right? A registered motor vehicle tag, I could just basically attach it right here. Now, right now it's attached via zip ties, but for now that's actually pretty useful because then I don't have to worry about the fact of adjusting it that much. So basically that is one of my little creativities at work. Okay, there is definitely a reflector in the back. Obviously we got to be safe out there, people. For those of you who are probably thinking, what the heck is this? Well, keep in mind that this not only holds a reflector, but it's also holding this bright orange ribbon, so that way it could be also a lot more identifiable than the reflector itself. Okay, so boom, there you go. Little creativity at work. Now, what was underneath these flaps was actually two, not one, but two saddlebags. One of them, although, was starting to rip into pieces. So now I'm down to one. But that's good, because then I decided to just leave that one off and try to repair this one day. Okay? The right here, because it was pretty much looked like it was cut in half over there by the bike frame, this was giving me a hell of a lot of trouble. So, and basically, now that it's back into place, this is a lot more stable. It's turning more on in the center of this this turning wheel. The chain is a lot more aligned. This sprocket was kind of hard to get straight. So trust me when I say it was really difficult for a while. This chain guard is instead of a zip tie like I saw in the video, is connected via a basically it housed a I think it was a reflector, but then now I used it to basically hold this stronger. Bada boom, see? So that way, and it's on the inside, because this bike frame is not the really like the standard bike frame that most people would use. Now, this string right here, since there's no bottom mounts, because there are two bolts stuck in there right now, I'm using this stabilizing rope to make sure it doesn't shift more to the left, along with this to hold it more in the mount right here. Okay, so basically there you go. Now moving more to the front, we got this what used to hold CO2 bottles for like quick tire fill-ups is now a Cdi Rain cover. Believe me, you guys are probably thinking, no, that doesn't work, man. It's still gonna get wet. No, it can only get wet now by a humidity in the air, but it has to take a lot to be able to absorb right through that little hole right there. That looked so wrong. I shouldn't do that. I will stop doing that. Okay, but trust me when I say that this has helped me so much. Okay, now this strap, I found it while riding on the street. Basically, I've been having a hard time to be able to secure this without breaking like a hole right here on the bottom. So, for all of you that are having trouble trying to keep your gas tanks from springing leaks, try this. Strap it down. Tighten it as tight as you can, do where you think you're not gonna break crap, and then seal it with this. Trust me, it hasn't moved an inch as far as I'm concerned. The gas will not deteriorate this material as much as you think. Okay? Now, basically right around here, okay, we have a fender that I have attached. Okay? Now, this cable, okay, used to be my throttle cable. I actually I had to jerry rig a throttle cable once, at least maybe 5 times. But now it is no longer an issue. I have ordered a new one. Okay, let me okay, sorry, okay, now I've ordered a new one. Now this, okay, a lot of you are probably saying, dude, it's on the wrong side. No, people, remarkably, even though I'm right-handed, I've actually been a left-handed rider. For some reason, my body has adapted to be able to use my left hand to control some of the main components like acceleration, even braking if necessary, while my right hand focuses on certain other tasks like maybe handling my phones and stuff, you know, or even grabbing a bottle of water, which is why it's on the right side, not the left. Okay, basically, people, you may have to learn how to be both right and left-handed, but in this case, I am a right hand. I'm a dominant right, but a subdominant left for certain things. Now, this is not my throttle anymore. You're probably wondering, what the heck is he talking about? He's obviously twisting it. Well, yes, because I had basically made it so it just still twists, but it's not a throttle. We're surprising people. This is my throttle right here. Actually, this is my throttle. Why do I say that? Because at one point my wrist started to hurt right here my wrist started to hurt, and when I was twisting the throttle, it was hurting. Not to mention, I was having a hard time engaging certain things, like for one, the clutch. So this is where it gets less complicated for me, because it's now a squeeze throttle and not a twist throttle. It allows me to be able to squeeze. The harder I squeeze, the more I accelerate, and allows me to handle all the other controls over there a lot easier. And this particular gear shifter is basically squeezes with the index, and I mean lower gear with the index, and higher gear with the thumb. There you go. Basically, this allows me with more shifting power than ever. Now, basically, there's a lot of features that I've been trying to add lately. Okay, for one, a speaker system. So if I'm riding a normal bicycle style for a while, because I've decided to go for an exercise run, there it is. A much easier, manageable way to be able to listen to music while riding a normal bike. Now, here's where I got an amazing, brilliant idea. There is a way where I basically connected this. So let's say you don't want to use Bluetooth, okay? With these RCA auxiliary splitters, I have at least 1 and 2. Okay, I have 2 of them connected. Okay, one of them is connected via here, which is actually electrical taped together, so it doesn't come apart anymore. And basically, there's 2 right here, two ports, and then the third port is right here. Okay, a lot of people are probably gonna ask, what the heck, sir? What kind of purpose does that serve? A great question. I'm glad to answer that, actually. Basically, this is where it got complicated. If I wanted to use headphones, attaching it to here or here was getting more complicated every day. Okay? Because to be honest, if my headphones started to tangle, boom, I will lose my headphones more than my bike. Okay? So basically, I decided to jerry-rig my splitters to be in certain spots, like right here. Now, and right here, okay? And then if I wanted to, what better is to be able to connect it to my speaker, because this is also not just a Bluetooth speaker, but it has an auxiliary port like most speakers do. Now, right here, which I have to replace it because this is actually, I think, might damage my phone more than it would help it. But basically, both of them was able to extend like so. Attach my phone, bada boom, right there. No problems. Okay? Like I said, I got to remove this because it's actually causing me a problem. And then here's where a secondary phone goes. So in other words, let's say if you have 2 phones, or if you have a passenger and you're both using the phone at the same time, bada boom. Okay? Way to be able to connect it. Here are 2 speedometers, a digital and an analog. Now the analog is not connected because I have to get a new turning cable. It got bent, it got tore up, so I have to fix that. Okay, this digital one, the sensor needs a new battery, or I might need to replace it completely. That's where I'm actually pissed, but it's not a problem. It is actually a solution. Now, with this cup holder, okay, when it came to certain times where it got bumpy. I decided to put this standard cup holder that came off a bike along with this no, actually this one came off a bike, and this one in the inside I bought with a kit. And basically, boom, right there. And then what it is that twist and attach to the bottle, the bottle cap of said thing you're carrying. There you go. All right, my throttle is on this side. Basically, easy disconnect. Okay, here's my rear shifter. Here's my front shifter. Okay, and to better it all, over here, what is this? If those are two of the shifters, what is this? People, you're never gonna believe me. I have finally figured out. I haven't finished it, but I have finally figured out how to add an emergency brake. Now, keep in mind, if you do this kind of thing, careful, because I'm adding this particular version to the front of the bike, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. But let's put it this way. This basically is a old style shifter that is actually being held very securely via a zip tie, which is actually holding the speaker down, but in reality a locker, so it doesn't shift just like that. If you need to tighten it just to be safe, boom, there you go. It just, all you gotta do is a little twist. Okay, so basically this is an emergency brake, disc brake, but because for one, the pad brakes wear down a lot quicker at higher speeds. So this is only for emergencies. The way it should be engaged though is simple. Because it's on the front, if you hit it by itself without the proper method, you will fly forward, especially if there's no one in the back to weigh you down. Trust me, I am not kidding. I have eaten pavement from this experience. And it's not from a motor bicycle. It was from a regular bike. So this is for all of you who thinking, this doesn't sound like a safe idea. Well, it is. You hit this after you hit the brakes. Okay? Now, this brake lever, I'm going to show you in a minute. It is actually a dual lever. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. You first hit this, slow down. 2 seconds after, you got to pull hard. Bing! Right there. You got to be able to get that done. Now, it might take some practice. You're going to have to hit this. Hit, and voila! It's got to be more of a 5 seconds reaction. Engage the clutch. Hit the brake. And with the left hand, pull on the disc brake. Because that's got to slow you down, and that's got to stop you completely. And if you guys are saying, dude, you're crazy, I'm not going to do that. Think of it this way. A couple scrapes hitting the pavement, or a hospital visit by getting hit by a car or a truck. You decide. That is your split-second life-saving decision. And may not make it if it's severe. Okay? That's why I'm doing this. I have actually bought an adapter so I can install it even on this standard bike. So, and if you want to know where you can get it, Amazon. Look for disc brake caliper adapter. There you go. Now, over here, here's the front pad brake. Right now it's a shoehorn style, but I might change it afterwards because it is scraping against this too hard. So that is gonna go soon. Okay? And that's just one. And over there, as you can see quite clearly, I can zoom in. I've never been able to. This is pretty much the second time I've tried this. Anyways, so as you can see right there, it is the back chopstick style brake. Now over here there is a chopstick style brake installed, but I'm not using it yet because as the front brake is actually maintaining my fender, okay? Which is actually important, because if you don't have a fender in the front, keep in mind you're going to be eating a lot of mud. I'm not kidding. And this fender being off had made the tires splash up mud as I was riding, and I was eating mud. So my advice, find a way to install a fender. As you can see my design, there you go. That works. Now, the disc brake is gonna go on this side. The cable is already leading right there. Boom. It doesn't have to be all covered, just part of it, okay? So make sure that nobody decides to sabotage you or nothing. Now, right here, people, this light is actually broken, but here's my example of what I did here. This is a hot paintball mask. Yes, I used it as a little style, but then it served me as practical, and here's why. You see the flashlight, how it's just pretty much stuck right there, right? Okay, now watch this. Boom. Now you see what I'm talking about right there, okay? It is still stuck. Why is it stuck? Because I cut some pieces of this hot paintball mask and basically attached it to it by slipping in the bottom panel. And I used a rubber band. Sorry, I have to technically look at it, which is hard. I used a rubber band to be able to secure it from going down, okay? Because if it slips down too much, you're looking at the ground, not forward. And these are mirrors to ensure some more reflecting power, okay? Hello, hi. Now, right here is a real reflector, okay? Just in case. So in other words, I have a trifecta of reflecting and a flashlight. Now, here's the thing. It's broken because I think we need to solder it, which is why I am going to just replace it when I find a new one. But this is a USB powered flashlight, okay? This is for a headband, USB powered headband. Now, keep in mind one thing. This particular one is so powerful and comes with red lighting as well. So if you need to, let's say, give it a little bit more of a caution sign, you hold this and it'll flash on the red one. That's why this one is the one I need to find. But this main big one gives you such an incredible range. That's why I need to find it. Anyway, that's basically there. Now, going back to the brakes, okay? Going back to the brakes. As I said, I found this basically on Amazon, but you could most likely find it in a lot of bicycle shops. This is a dual braking lever, okay? This is a dual braking lever. Basically, I squeeze this, both brakes, front and back, go forward. So in other words, if you're going to try this, make sure that this front pad brake, it is slightly weaker than the back. The back is actually what's got to slow you down, not the front. The front basically will make you eat pavement, okay? Now, people are probably gonna ask, dude, why don't you have any rear view mirrors? I actually had them before, but here's the problem. When I used rear view mirrors, it was nearly impossible to find the right ones that allowed me to be able to see securely in the back, okay? Besides, it doesn't take much effort to basically take my right hand off the handlebar and look back just enough while I'm standing still, okay? And if I just look sideways to the left or to the right, I'm able to at least be able to see any cars coming behind me. Now, some people are probably gonna ask, what about signaling to turn? Well, that's where it gets, this is where it gets a lot better, okay? If I wanted to say signal to turn, if somebody was sitting behind me, like say my girlfriend, okay? then basically what it is that they can able to she can able to signal left or right for me, okay? Not only that, it's good to also have her check my tail, make sure there's no heavy duty cars coming at me all the time. Now, if you were riding by yourself, this is how I suggest you do it. You take your right or left hand, whichever is controlling your bike the most with the throttle, and you was controlling less of the throttle, okay? And you basically turn to your right or your left to be able to check behind you, and you signal with your hand. If you need to slow down, your bike is not going to instantly stop unless it stops, okay? So in other words, it's not going to turn off unless you are standing still. So basically all you got to really do is engage the clutch when you're idling, when you want to idle. But while you're moving, your bike will continue to run. So basically let go of the throttle and use your left hand to signal left or right, depending on which side you are on. Now, basically, as I stated, this bike is not in its final completion stages, but I finally have identified every little single aspect of this bike that will allow me to completely finish this bike. I am not planning on switching bikes. I know there's a lot of things strapped to it, but as I ride this bike, I find that there are certain things that I need, like my cell phone, like I need to listen to music when I'm struggling with my stamina. There are times where I need a GPS. That's the thing. I also want to be able to have a drink with me. If ever it gets too hot, I'm gonna need to take a drink. Basically the speedometers. Obviously, you want to know how fast you're going. So that is a necessity. It is not a luxury. Okay? There's almost nothing on here that is actually luxury. It is actually practically all of it is a necessity. As far as strapping that computer chair backrest to it, my girlfriend has had a hard time trying to sit on my bike sometimes, and she sometimes gets a little scared. I decided I'm gonna solve that problem, so I did something about it. So to clarify, end this, and basically put a pin on all of what I just said, because I want to share this on bikeberry.com page on Facebook and basically see how many people like it. Okay? Let me turn this around. Okay. As I stated, this bike is the MBC project name Firecracker. My bike, it is not a regular bike. It is a motorized bicycle. No, it's not a motorcycle. No, it's not a moped. It is a bicycle with an engine kit. If I don't have gas, then I will pedal my butt wherever I need to go. If I do have gas and I'm tired, I will obviously turn on the engine. And in this cold weather that I'm facing right now, because you obviously see my toboggan, my basically 2 sweaters, a shirt, okay? I am pretty much freezing most of the time right now. In this cold weather, you can't afford to ride a bicycle normally anymore, okay? Because there are certain things that a human body should not endure. Is loss of stamina in cold weather. So my advice to all of you, okay? If you want to ride creatively and less hassle, try this. I'm not going to guarantee that my bike is safe, but I will guarantee it is practical. So I will bid you adieu on this. And I'm going to see y'all out there.